Wow.
All right. Welcome to
That was
December.
impressive. Oh, wow.
It was beautiful. And I wanted
Beautiful.
to open with something kind of nice and better. And what we've been saying, what a difference a year makes. Because remember, Mark, I don't know if you do, last year, the Bidens, they had their own.
So much.
Yes.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Oh, and
the contrast is crazy.
Absolutely. And I had to show it because I'm just like, you know what? It's so nice. A little bit of tradition, a little bit of Christmas coming back. We're entering the season. And, I want to reach out and thank, obviously everybody here who's watching. It's been kind of a crazy couple weeks. Mark is sick this past Friday. The Friday before, we were on planes because we couldn't get anything. So as part of the holidays, and I wanted to kind of get this out right away, I said that we're going to have locals on sale until the end of the month. I am going to keep it on sale.
No, Hunley, end it. No, Hunley, stop it. I'll be Scrooge. Right. I just watched Scrooge with Bill Murray.
Oh, great.
I'm in that Scrooge mode. Go ahead, Eric.
Wonder what the show's going to be tomorrow. Anyway, I wanted to give everybody a chance because, literally, we haven't been on the air to talk about the fact that Locals is on sale for $50 for the year. We don't do this often. And, we didn't do it except for last year during the Black Friday weekend.
Yeah.
I'm going to extend it through at least the end of the show Friday. But that gives people, 2 episodes to kind of hear about it, because I just don't think it's fair that, we did that and then we show repeats. And
I would crush them and end it right now. But you're a softer guy. You're more of a Christmassy kind of guy. So I'm going to go with your viewpoint of the universe on this.
All right. Well, and you don't have a choice since I have the controls anyway. So
I didn't even know what Locals was the first couple of years. So Hunley kept explaining it to me. Unstructured.locals.com. That's where you got to go. And
that's correct.
Look, there's a lot of crap over there. And I mean crap in a good way. You've got dozens and dozens and dozens of PDFs of rare published books that in the JFK genre that nobody can get their hands on. The only reason I got my hands on them is that they were, over the years, sent to me by researchers. So I put them into a file and a folder over a period of time. I don't know. I'm going to have to look in because I don't know if we have them all up there. I'm going to have to look at how many do you think we have? You think we have them all, or?
No, I don't know how many there are.
I have to look at different folders.
Yeah.
There might be some more up there.
Yeah, and we'll definitely put more up there. And by the way, I do want to point out that if you buy it now for $50, next year on renewal, it will be $50.
What is
you
that?
Don't let it run out.
Grandfather clause or something?
No, it's just we're not doing that really gross thing where a lot of places will say, Black Friday special, 50% off, and then the next year, it goes up to full price, and everybody goes, "Holy shit! What just happened? I didn't allocate the funding." So this is, if it's $50, it's $50, and that's what it will be. And you can renew it. If you, obviously, if it runs out and it's in a $70 period, then it'll be 70. But if you keep renewing it, that'd be $50, and we do appreciate it very much. Always.
And that's unstructured.locals.com, you're saying?
It is
Okay.
unstructured.
A lot of people don't know that. They just come here and they think this is the end of the road.
And they say, what's locals anyway? As a matter of fact, there's a link in the description. If you scroll down, wherever you're watching it, in the description, you should see a link to this recording right now, which will be there with no ads. And you can even join it for free and look around and still get the benefit of no ads and a lot of material.
I think the no ads thing is probably the best thing, according to these people who keep seeing YouTube making money at our censored expense.
Yeah, and it is very much at our expense too. That's a story that just came across my threshold or whatever earlier. Speaking of YouTube,
excuse me while I drink my own urine. Go ahead.
Okay, well there you go. YouTubers still banned despite defeating YouTube in lawsuit over AI banning the channel. So
interesting.
This is how crazy
wow
things are. And if you are watching a lot of creators, you're going to be hearing that the numbers are down, sales are down, there's big problems. There's a lot of bans happening due to AI algorithms, whatever the hell's going on. This guy had his channel banned by YouTube. He actually had to demonetize first, and then it literally was banned. But he had gone to the EU, and sometimes the EU is a good thing because they crack
for this
down
stuff.
on a lot of companies.
They do not like digital media.
Anyway, it is a car channel, and his channel
channel, automobiles.
Yeah, automobiles.
Oh my god!
It's Alexander Chase Car is the guy's name. Anyway, he went and he won. YouTube could not even defend and say why he was banned.
There is no why. There is no why.
No, there is no why. And to give you an idea of how sickening this is, when I've had channel banned a couple times, but anyway, I've had the channel banned, and then you say appeal, and like within 40 seconds denied. Or I'll see that there's a video that's demonetized, right, or something. I'll be like, appeal, and it won't be listed yet. So nobody is seeing.
What is reduced ad visibility? What is that thing?
Reduced ad visibility is what we call demonetized. Essentially, any good ads aren't going to play on it. But if there's some people, some leftover ads on the floor that nobody cares about or whatever, that are low paying, some of those may or may not actually be shown on the channel. That's what that is. So
but they still make money off the ads they're running on the channel, even though they're not giving you any.
Depends.
Okay.
Depends. Sometimes they don't run the ads at all. Sometimes it is with the advertisers, what have you. But what I was going to say is, on appeal, you'll see something, it'll be unlisted, nobody can watch a video, nobody's seen it, they don't have any idea it's out there. You hit appeal and then it's denied, but the play count is still the one from when you saw it. So it's like, how is that possible? How can you have gone through and listened to this case and then said, oh, sorry, still banned? And yes, this is true. Ray and Bosny, we do always get paid if you are a YouTube Premium subscriber. I hate to encourage people to pay the extra money for YouTube Premium, but I will say that all creators do get paid from the premium subscribers if it's there. It's a much smaller pot, but it all counts. So anyway, I just want to share that. YouTube is.
Do you still get super chats though, or do they keep the super chats?
You do get super chats while that's going on, because the super chat is given directly to us. So
right. And what about super thanks? It's cousin super thanks.
We do get super thanks, or at least whatever the percentage is left. Just so folks know, if you're giving super chats or super thanks to a channel, if you're doing it on a computer, that is better than if you're doing it on the phone. Because if you do it on the phone, what happens is
Verizon gets some of it.
No, Apple or Google.
Apple. That was close.
Or Google.
Or Google.
So which is ironic. So if you have an Android phone, you'll pay 30% to Google,
What?
another 30% to YouTube on top of that. So a $10 super chat works out to about $4.70 or so for the creator. And then YouTube, of course, Google gets paid twice, once for Google and once for YouTube. Nice deal. Or Apple gets 30%.
What happens when you appeal the reduced ad visibility thing?
Occasionally we get it back. A lot of times it just says confirmed by review.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, it's dark. That's really dark.
Well, it's better than our video getting age restricted.
I think like the Facebook scandal, eventually this is going to come to light. This whole machine of illegal business, like Facebook, getting away with it for so long. YouTube's day is coming. That's just my feeling.
What one can hope.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because Facebook was impregnable also for many years. They're not doing anything wrong. We're not mining your data. We're not selling your stuff. And all of a sudden, one day, boom, there was a bright light of truth that was shine onto them, and then we learned more about it.
This is true. I don't know if it'll happen. I hope so. I also I'm not a lawyer. I hang out with a lot of them, but I can't help but wonder, like, if they refuse to reinstate people or ignore them, could there be a class action maybe against them for contract misrepresentation or something
I think
like that?
Class action could be brought on multiple fronts. You could add on 75 different things that are not even connected and have a class action suit. It doesn't have to be like one little thing, I think. Like in a class action suit, you can list, they did this, they did this, they did this, they did that, they did this.
Yes and no. I mean, the key thing is that it has to be the same thing for all the people who are involved.
For the class. But it could
correct.
be the class might be that they're all YouTube creators and suffered all these financial setbacks by this one business.
Maybe. Yeah. Again, as a non-lawyer, I will firmly say I'm not sure the details. I just wonder if it's possible. Now we're gonna definitely get into the news. I don't know if you saw this. Trump was discussing today things that are going on in Minneapolis, and he put the hammer down.
All right, let's go. Hammer time.
When I watch what is happening in Minnesota, the land of 1,000 lakes or however many lakes they have, they got a lot of lakes.
10,000.
This beautiful place.
You got it.
And I see these people ripping it off. And now I'm understanding, and you're going to look into that. I hear they ripped off Somalians, ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Somebody say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks.
Okay.
And we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries too.
Okay.
I can say it about other countries too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
Are they knocking on the table? That's the cabinet meeting, I'm presuming.
Yep. Yeah.
Ongoing now live. It could be a 3-hour cabinet meeting, according to Halpern.
I think it finished. Halpern. Right. Let's talk about that. I did not know something went down on two-way, and both Dan and Sean left the show. They're doing.
Oh, I thought it was a holiday thing.
No.
Oh, I had no idea.
They're actually doing another show on Sean Spicer's channel. It appears that two-way fell apart, and I don't know what's going on there.
But he had he had what's his name, the Southern guy.
Well, he's continuing the show. He just doesn't have his main co-hosts. They're gone.
Right. Well, I didn't perceive them to be co-hosts. You say they're a co-host. I never thought they were.
Okay. Well, what are they? I mean,
they're just guests of the show. They're on there. I mean, the other guy's been on a lot. The former Bush Southern guy, and then this black chick was on from Texas. But I've seen other people on the show besides.
That's an evening show.
What am I watching? I just watched this morning. I watched.
No, I understand. Okay, the morning meeting was Mark Halperin, Dan Turntine, and Sean Spicer.
Right, but I always perceived it to be his show, not that the three of them had a show.
Okay, well, he called them as co-hosts, and
at
one point, so you know, whatever. It is his network, as far as I know, and either way, they left, and they're doing something else over on Sean Spicer's channel, and I was like, wow.
Well, the Dan guy I've seen him on Newsmax lately, and I've seen him on a lot of shows. He was spreading out himself. What?
In a Fox, and yeah.
No, I've seen him on a lot of stuff lately, and Spicer is Spicer. Interesting. Who did I see Spicer talking to? It was somebody. Oh, it was somebody talking about Victor Davis Hanson, and like Victor Davis Hanson was talking to Spicer about this MAGA Nazi right, and he didn't want any part of it. He was like, I don't know anything about it. and Victor Davis Hanson's going like, really? And he goes, well, here's what's going on, Sean. And he seemed to be oblivious. Like he was on the show when they brought it up a couple of times. He did not want to touch this with a 10-foot pole.
Kind of like the former press secretary for Trump. Yeah. He didn't want to touch it with the 10-foot pole because he didn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. I mean,
right.
I mean, Mark is dancing on a pin with that himself, because he, to his credit, did write a blistering column about Candace Owens on Daily Mail or whatever. However, he is in super tight with Megyn Kelly, and she is like a big Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson defender. So, you know, good luck, Mark. I know you're building your network. I know you need some money, and there is some money out there that may help you. But
well, this Tucker thing we were talking about before the show about how he can't remember Tommy Robinson. This is the strangest thing I've heard in weeks.
Well, Tucker.
Well, Tommy could speak for himself. He's got a fairly loud megaphone.
He has a loud megaphone. He is someone who has paid the price for his views. I mean, he has spent time in prison, and not a lightweight either.
No.
He has gotten his ass handed to him, beaten down, solitary confinement. I mean, you know, Bannon had a rough time, sure, but Tommy Robinson is, you know, really a hard case. I mean, he's been in there.
He's a political prisoner. I mean, in and out of jail repeatedly. But, you know, people are now looking at Tucker like every day it's something, Eric. And I have a feeling about this thing. I'm going to stick my neck out on this thing. This is going to end for Tucker when he goes to rehab. This thing is melting down so quickly that I believe at some point he's going to have a come to Jesus meeting about his relapse with cocaine and alcohol, which to me, as I've said previously on this show, may be the only explanation that makes any logical sense for Tucker Carlson at this point. A guy with a history of drug abuse by his own admission, a history of cocaine abuse by his own admission, a history of alcohol abuse by his own admission. I believe that's what's going on. And I believe hopefully he'll go to rehab and find some clarity in there for his problems.
Well, I don't know. There could be another reason too, but here's a nice little compilation put together by Nathan Livingstone, who I've had on, showing some of the contradictions of Tucker. And these aren't necessarily, you know, like 20 years apart either. These are fairly recent comments back to back.
Hamas is you know, group of jihadis. They're Islamic extremists, which they also claim constantly, which I don't know if that's true, by the way. It seems more like a political organization.
Raised some eyebrows this week when you said that Hamas is more like a political organization than a terror group. That was on the new episode of your show when you were talking.
I didn't say that.
America's supporting Israel because it's an ally.
I don't even know what those words mean. I'm just saying my
Well,
principle.
they're
is
an ally, right? I mean, they
I
both.
don't know what that means to be an ally.
To say we don't care what the president of the United States wants in his foreign policy. That's not the behavior of an ally.
Qatar is like one of our closest allies in the world. The largest American air base in the Middle East is in Qatar. They're a close ally of ours.
I think U.S. aid, military aid to Israel, and the implied security guarantees, some explicit but many implied security guarantees of the United States to Israel, probably haven't helped Israel that much long term. You know, it's a rich country with a highly capable population. Like every other country, it's probably best if it makes its decisions based on what it can do by itself.
That country couldn't exist without, not for a week without U.S. backing.
And as someone who has zero interest in participating in any kind of boycott, much less against Israel, I'm just not interested. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Whatever, buy the hummus.
And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking.
And I was on Twitter, but I kept getting texts from people like, "Oh, they're so mad at you about the hummus or something." Oh, since when is hummus Jew? It's an Arab food,
Right. That's what we're seeing is the mass polarization. Either they're getting very right wing or very left wing.
And what is, I know what right wing looks like, and I approve.
but it's interesting and very distressing to me since I've spent my whole life on the right, whatever that is. I'm beginning to ask, what is that exactly?
Calling people names, anti-Semite, isolationist, to get them to stop talking is not the way to serve your country. That's all I'm saying.
And a bunch of low IQ Republican senator warmonger freaks.
Well,
All right. So that's Tucker.
Yeah.
That's Tucker.
like I said, it's going to have to end with rehab for him. There's no other way out of this cycle. He's just going down further and further and further, and this is not going to end well until he deals with his mental situation. Again, this, just based on his history of drug and alcohol abuse, and at one point, I think what's his name from England, the actor, took him to a meeting trying to help him.
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand, yeah, and
Okay.
he said, "I've never heard of this. I don't even know what this is." And this was like 2 years ago. And Russell Brand was like, "What? Like, what part of the pop culture do you not know about?" And he feigned.
But he doesn't know what an ally is either, Mark. So come on.
No, but I'm saying this is part of an act that he does. But I think at the end of the day, you're going to find out that this guy has gone back to some party favors that he used to favor.
Maybe. And, I admit that I'm a little bit more cynical. I think you're being very kind. I feel like, yes, rehab is a good way to clean the slate for a lot of things that you might be doing. Like, let's say you're dirty, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you happen to have a substance abuse problem at the same time. Well, going to rehab can wash away a lot of extra sins, if you will.
Oh, right. No, you're correct. But I've also seen it happen, where people have gone like Mel Gibson yelling about the Jews on the side of the road, ending up getting sober, going to rehab by court order is the type of thing I'm referring to historically. I've seen this, and I've talked with Mel, and I've seen people do this and come out the other side a much better person. This has all the earmarks of it. I don't know if it's true or not, but based on what I've read about his history, that people are trying to grasp for some sort of explanation for this guy, and it's the only thing to me that makes sense, as a drug and alcohol counselor and a person who worked in recovery, that this guy has gone back to what he did before, which is completely normal, by the way. I'm not saying it. He has no program. According to him, he quit everything on his own. This traditionally is what happens to people who do that on their own. It's hard to muscle through it for years.
True. And Tim Spangler, we don't report to you. We'll
Who's
talk
Tim
about
Spangler?
it.
Get
However
off
it
this.
is, I don't know.
Get this guy out of here.
If
Come
we
on.
want to talk about it, we're going to talk about it. So.
It's Tim Spangler. Wait, I can't stop coughing and laughing. Okay, so what about Maduro now? What's going on? Speaking of drug,
I got to lean
smuggling.
in on that. I do not know. I was going to go back to Minneapolis for a second, but
Right. No, okay, go to whatever you want to go to. Well, I don't care. You know, you want
Well,
to
I find this very interesting because
Go
you
ahead,
got,
yeah.
but here's the Minneapolis mayor who's
Good, go for it.
responding to.
That's not American. That's not what we are about. And we're going to do right by every single person in our cities.
Really?
And so to our Somali community, Daman Shabka,
What?
Somali Aid Kunul,
What the hell's he saying?
Darahan, Minneapolis, Waan, Kuji, Janila High, Waan, Ku, Gereb, Taganahan.
What the fuck?
So you got the mayor of
Right.
Minneapolis that's so far in the pocket of this that he's speaking Somali.
Were those
Or,
names of people, or was that
That's
a
Somali.
sentence?
It
No,
was
no,
a
but
sentence in Somali. I don't know Somali to break down exactly what he's saying. All I know is
Right.
he's speaking Somali, and this is where it gets better. This is the police chief. So what the mayor was doing is he was warning everybody Somali. By the way, they're coming down to start collecting people.
Oh, right.
So he's tipping them off. Now
Right.
here's the chief of police.
Okay, let's see what the chief has.
Folks that are masked, that they're not sure if they're law enforcement, that they may be kidnapping people. Like we have
Really?
had those
Really?
reports. I want to be clear to the community. The community should know that if you see something like that, that is legitimate, that you don't know if someone is law enforcement, you should call 911 and you should provide as much information as possible, because let's not forget,
Yeah.
we very recently had tragedy in this state by someone who was purporting to be law enforcement. So please, let's be clear. That's something everyone should report and that we will immediately respond to, and we will document, whether it's somebody's not sure if there's a kidnapping happening, somebody's not sure if that there's law enforcement present or not. And that's something else that's additional policy requirements that we are implementing.
What a piece
And
of
we will
shit.
document and report these types of things anytime that we hear it, and reminding our officers of their duty to intervene. So if there is anything that is, a violation of someone's human rights or civil rights, excessive force or anything like that, they absolutely have a duty to intervene as police officers.
Look at these political grifters in back of him, Eric.
Well, that's the mayor right there.
Right,
And
and
then
don't
this
forget-
is like a handler.
Right.
This guy right here. It's like
He's
kind
one
of
of
like,
the Somali handlers.
it
And
could
don't
be.
forget Ellison runs the state. I mean, the attorney and his son, the former spokesperson for the Nation of Islam. That's who you really want as attorney general in your state is the spokesperson for Farrakhan.
Totally agree.
When
Anyway,
did this state go absolutely batshit fucking crazy? Nobody's ever explained it to me clearly.
well, hasn't it always kind of been? Didn't
Yeah,
the SDS come from there? And
Well,
some of the
he
real
was
weird
saying,
leftist shit.
Victor Davis Hanson was saying that Humphrey came from the farmer Communist Party. He came from like the far left version, the equivalent of the Democratic Socialists back in the day.
Actually, didn't the Communist Party get founded there?
I
too? The
think
US
so.
government
I
is-
think
I don't know. I don't want to.
Some
Pasha,
commie
set us
Swedes
straight.
went north and the rest went south. There's some slogan about that. But it's definitely Swedes who have done this to themselves here.
Yeah, it is completely bonkers for sure. But I don't know. All I can say is good luck. What he's doing, I feel there are questions whether you could arrest that police chief.
Oh,
or
yeah.
potentially the mayor. I mean,
Absolutely.
the way he's wording it too,
Yeah.
and he's ginning people up, in my opinion, to
I'd say pick
calling
them
it
up. Yeah.
kidnapping.
Yeah.
When he said people with masks, because they don't want ICE wearing masks. Why? So they can identify them and attack them later.
Of course.
Yeah,
I mean, they
that's
kept doing
interesting.
it.
Yeah, so I think
see,
they should go crack down.
Well, they can't. It's so funny because ICE is so super aggressive. I mean, let me put it this way: complete collapse of enrollment in California schools now, down 5 to 30%, empty seats. The teacher union is freaking out. They have fled the state. Millions of people have fled. They think that they're shut in their houses, not coming out, which is not true. The enrollment has completely collapsed now. It's between 5 and something like 20% of the schools have now felt, literally, Eric, the leaving of illegal aliens from the state in like a vacuum.
Is it only the illegals? But is it not also a lot of actual residents? And I bring this up because, like, there's a YouTuber, I forgot his name. He's a very big financial YouTuber with like 10 million views or whatever. And he was doing a video because he enrolled in the program that LA has, apparently, where if you have an extra building on your property, you can turn it into an apartment to solve the housing crisis.
Right.
That's
That's a separate issue, though.
Well, no,
yeah.
Let me finish it. Anyway, so he did all this. He went through hell and everything. So finally, the result of his hell with that is he's leaving California. He sold his house and everything. He said,
right,
through this, and he's in real estate. I get what you're saying about that, but I'm saying, is it also a case of like people who can afford to leave are also running from California?
Again, it's two separate things, but you're correct. It's two separate issues. We're talking about mostly working class neighborhoods, completely brown, 100% brown neighborhoods now have empty school seats in their schools. And that means no federal money for the empty seats. That means a decline in the amount of money, a decline in the amount of teachers, decline in the amount of power by the Marxist Teachers Union, which is an avowed Marxist organization run by an avowed communist. This has an incredible ripple effect immediately, this mass deportation and self-deportation, double-barrel situation coming out of the entire country. But I was just looking at recent statistics here in California.
I'm fine with that.
By the way, speaking of which, Eric Swalwell, your old friend, went on Jimmy Kimmel and announced he's running for governor. The vacuum created by the Kamala Harris not running for governor has created now a groundswell of everyone running for governor. Latinos, Swalwell, the billionaire Tom Steyer is in, Bashir is in, I think Juan Marichal, the former pitcher of the Giants, who's up in heaven, is in. But Swalwell's an interesting cat because he's throwing down pretty heavy to become governor of California. And the odd thing about Swalwell is he will be disqualified because he hasn't lived here in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And it's so funny because it's a ticking time bomb. That is Joel Gilbert, who used to be a Dylanologist, has become a conservative documentarian, and he dug in like this Anwar did on the Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, about mortgage fraud, and Joel Gilbert dug in on Swalwell, who has lived in Maryland 100%, no phony apartment in California, no residence at all in California. It's clear in the state constitution, you have to reside here. He is going to be disqualified. And what Gilbert thinks is it's only going to come from internal competition from the others dropping the bomb when they want to.
Well, it makes me think you keep quoting or telling me that the communists will, slice his ankles at the last minute or whatever.
Yeah, well, who knows who's to the left of Swalwell, though? That's in this case, we don't know.
I don't know. It's California. There's range.
There's definitely range. There's definitely range. But even Halpern seems to be leaning towards the possibility of Gavin Newsom being the Democratic nominee someday.
Well, I mean, it's becoming more and more obvious. But question though, how is Swalwell keeping his congressional seat without a residence in California? Let alone running for governor.
That's a separate issue, but the state of California has their own constitution about running for governor. Right. Don't forget, Newsom picked a girl to fill in a temporary seat who also lived in Maryland, hadn't lived here for 5 years. It's enforced very spottily is the answer to your question.
That just seems bonkers to me.
It is, though. It's enforced spottily.
I understand that. It's still bonkers.
I know. I agree.
I mean, it's like you are technically representing. So one would think you have to at least go home occasionally and talk to your constituents, but I guess not.
He doesn't have a residence here. He has nothing. It's just a fact. He hasn't had anything for over 5 years. He does not live here. He doesn't even have like a condo, nothing. At least Adam Schiff had like a condo here. He actually had a place. But Swalwell doesn't have the bread that a Schiff had. And, he's just full on Maryland resident.
Wow. That's amazing. It's amazing. All right. Well, the main story we had for today, and we were going to be talking about this Friday, but we didn't get into it. But it is important. You had the Afghan national, who shot the 2 National Guard people. Sadly, one has passed away, and apparently the other one's condition is improving. So hopefully he can pull through. But this individual, Ramallah, I don't know how to say his name. Anyway, apparently worked with the CIA.
Well, it was a CIA unit in Afghanistan in the Bush. I don't know if you directly say work. It was a unit run by the CIA hunting down bad guys. He was kind of like a locator. But I would say that too. And so does his brother, by the way, which nobody's talking about, who is still running around somewhere. I don't know where his brother is in Spokane. So they may have to bring him in. But most of the people that came in, Eric, came in under that guise of working with U.S. military. So,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? All of them came in under that supervision.
Which is a problem. It's something that has to be explored, because that was the latest incident. I don't know if you saw the footage. There was a traffic stop, I believe it was in April, of it was an interpreter or what have you, and just the guy, because all completely recorded, so you could hear the body cam footage and everything, and he just was super belligerent with everybody and everything else, and they called in a supervisor, another cop, and he just pulls his gun out.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah,
yesterday.
and he ultimately was shot down. But again, we've got I think there's some problems. I'm trying to figure out the best way to put it. Compatibility needs to be a consideration. When you are so culturally different, it can be a stressor to try to fit in here. And I think that's something that we don't really look at. We just are like, oh, you know what? Everybody will come here. It's just going to be perfectly fine because we've got it better than they do. And it's a nice thing, blah, blah, blah. But the same way as if I was to go into Afghanistan, I would probably really struggle and I'd have a rough time of it because culturally it's very different and I wouldn't fit in. I think that we really need to look at this. When they come here, and especially with the violence and everything else.
I think in February, the Trump administration officially cleared this particular guy.
He did.
So it's on both their hands. I mean, he let him in, Biden, but individually they had to go through clearance from the Trump administration, and this guy was vetted or cleared. I don't know what the proper word is. The first month of the Trump administration.
Right now, I know Trump is claiming, or his administration is claiming, that they didn't really have an option because he was paroled under the other Biden program. So it was kind of like just a rubber stamp because he was already essentially cleared. So I don't know. They definitely need to look at the whole program, I think.
What about the auto pen program? I think he did away with that, Trump. What is the deal there?
That one I really can't wait till Friday to talk to the lawyers about, because I don't know if he really can or can't do that, and that's a hard call, especially because some of them he's saying he's revoking. Biden explicitly did state that he did do. So there's the question of the auto pen, whether he intended for it to happen, and if you could show that he said this is going to happen, and then it did happen, auto pen or otherwise. And if he did explicitly state it, and you have all that, then that was his intent. It's just a methodology, whether it was physical or not. But
there were some auto pens where they didn't talk to Biden at all.
Those are the ones that are an issue. So, but Trump, in his typical fashion, is just saying a blanket. None of it.
He's trying to get attention on it. He's trying to get focus on it. That's his style. Now, what about the blowing up of these ships? I know you were opposed to it from day one.
Yep. So now the check and attack me. I was doing it on Friday.
First of all, I'm completely shocked that Maduro. I don't know if this thing happened so fast. Forget about the ships. The fact that he's telling Maduro to leave, and Maduro's thinking about leaving so quickly. I'm just in shock. Apparently, I mean, he's not putting up a fight. He's not saying, go fuck yourself. I'm a dictator. I'll kill you. He's going to leave. I mean, is this just a PR propaganda move?
Supposedly Trump's shut down in the entire airspace.
Right. That I know.
In Venezuela. And I don't know, usually when you have a dictator type, there's going to be some other people who are really, really bad characters, and they may be saying, you need to go. Sorry. It's been a good run, but we're going to kill you if you don't leave.
The opposition guy who ran against him won by 70% of the vote. So he might be a normal guy who lost the election to this dictator. I mean, it's really right out of bananas. If you look at what Maduro's done, he's declared Christmas to be October 1st. They have to wear their underwear on their outside of their pants. I mean, this is right outside of a Woody Allen movie. He has, I mean, there's no lights, there's no food, all kinds of chaos is ensuing. Something like 130,000% inflation. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Anyway, but I'm just surprised.
But socialism works, Mark.
No. I get it. It just happened so quickly that they are now issuing a $50 million reward. $50 million for the arrest and conviction of Maduro on narcotics. Did you read this?
Yeah, that was about 2 months ago. They put the $50 million.
$50 million?
Yes.
Is an actual reward number.
Right. It was 15, then it became like 20. And it's 50.
I didn't know this story. Okay. So where does he go that Trump is saying, I will guarantee you safe passage to where?
Probably Miami.
I know.
Isn't that what happens?
That's what I thought.
Don't they retire in Miami or Fort Lauderdale or whatever?
The Russians have left Venezuela now. They were ordered to get out by Putin, so they're leaving. Wow. This thing happened so quick, Eric.
Yeah. Well, and I'm pretty sure that he doesn't have any support internally. I'm sure they're saying, again, you've had a nice run. Got to go. It's not going to happen. So,
wow. Now, let me ask something. Forget about this for a second. In a naval battle, you're not a Navy guy, but in a naval battle, if your ship attacks another ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you wound the ship is sinking. Are you obligated to just fire one shot and never fire again?
Well, you're talking about the argument.
No, forget about that.
Whether it's fully disabled or not, and that would be the question. If the other vessel is still able to function or fire back, or is not completely disabled, you would keep firing until it is disabled.
That's
the same way as a cop who is firing on a suspect will keep firing if the suspect is still able to fire back or to do whatever.
Why is this a question? Because he fired 2 rounds into this drug vessel then, as opposed to 1 round. I don't understand what the difference is of round number 2. They came in rapid succession.
If it was completely disabled knowingly, and they were going into lifeboats and they were shot down in the lifeboats, then that would be a problem. Right. I don't know the details. I'm just saying that.
I don't know if that's a detail. The thing's the size of a lifeboat.
Whatever. If it's no longer able to function, it's no longer having a delivery mechanism, and it's no longer a threat. Same thing as like with a cop. If there's a cop and a suspect, and the suspect is shot, but then the suspect is no longer armed and he's on the ground and he's saying, I'm done. And then the cop kills him. Then now that's murder. So there is.
What about PT 109 with John F. Kennedy? Are they obligated as a PT boat in a battle to fire 1 round, wait and see what happens, fire a 2nd round, wait and see what happens in the height of battle? I find this to be bizarre.
Well, I think you're going too far in the other narrative. I don't know. I'm not there. You're going to keep firing until it's disabled.
Right. That's what I thought. Right.
So it is what it is.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying
what it is.
Unless I could see, the event, if they are still able to fire and they're still firing or whatever, but if it is disabled, if it is unable to operate or move or what have you, then you can be in trouble. That's the way it works. I don't know.
I'm asking you. You're a military guy.
Well, it's the same thing. It's basic combat. There's a point of, you're shooting to kill, But if someone is completely incapacitated and then you take them out, then that is murder.
All right, that's your final word on it. I don't have to accept that as a civilian.
So okay. Again, I'm not a legal scholar either. So
okay, well, everybody's
You
got
know.
things to talk about. But I just want to cover this one story really quickly. These while we're talking about Chinese communist spies, this is a story, the front page of Epic Times yesterday. In New York, the trial for Linda's son. She's the aide to the governor of the state of New York. Now you think, well, how do you get that job, right? So she turns out to be a Chinese secret agent, Eric, as many of them do. She works for Governor Kathy Hochul. She forged her signature on tons of documents, notified the Chinese Communist Party of her every move. And she also was an aide under Cuomo. And in one incident, they were notified by email that they invited Cuomo to a state dinner for Taiwan in New York. And she immediately contacted the Chinese Communist Party, who put her there, and they told her to get rid of the email. So the governor of New York never was aware. This is just one thing in her trial. There's a lot of other things, but this is how they've infiltrated so deeply into the Democratic Party, specifically, as we've talked about on the show, ad nauseum. She's on trial now in federal court in New York City Borough of Brooklyn, Eastern District of New York. Now, they also went to her house where they found a few different things that I wanted to tell you what they found in her house, because this story is not getting any coverage for reasons that I find to be bizarre. She forged all these different letters using the governor's stationery, and she worked for Hochul for 13 years. This is kind of like the Dianne Feinstein driver story, if you remember, Eric, who was her Chinese communist driver out of San Francisco. When they searched her home, the FBI, they found she was on an employee salary of $140,000 a year. But the jewelry, luxury goods, I don't even get into that, how many Birkin handbags she had. But also authorities found several cars that she liked. The 2024 Ferrari Roma, 2024 Range Rover, 2022 Mercedes GLB SUV, Audi Q5, as well as a secret safety deposit box with $130,000 in cash.
A little dealership that she's starting,
Right.
Car.
We also found kilogram friendship coins of solid silver. The list goes on and on and on. But it was 2019 when Taiwan's president traveled to New York and held a banquet. And guess what? Nobody from the government showed up because nobody knew about it. She had done her job and she was paid very well. But through the council, a guy named General Zhang, right out of X-Men or something, left her post in May 2018, sent her a farewell letter saying your personal friendship and kind support will always be cherished. This is not the only case in the country. I'm going to follow this a little bit more closely because she had multiple homes in Flushing, in Manhasset, in bank accounts up the kazoo. And this is not the only city in the country where this is happening, nor is it the only state in the country that this is happening. But the levels that they have achieved in terms of high up the Democratic Party are apparently just people think, what seems to be the problem here, Eric? Just absolutely forging governors' signatures on official documents. She's on trial now, but I'm curious to see what happens to her if she's just deported to China or she serves hard time.
I don't know. I'm pretty cynical about that, and I don't. Maybe she'll get deported to China. She'll probably wind up just disappearing for a while and then getting lobbing on to another campaign somewhere.
Well, the reason I thought about it was because of obviously Fang, as somebody commented before about Swalwell. I mean, they'll have their hooks into the state of California like they have their hooks into the state of New York. Again, this has to be blown out of proportion and raised up in terms of news story because it's insane. It's just totally insane.
Yeah. I mean, well, hopefully she gets actually convicted and, serves some hard time and rolls on other people, because that can, help too. That again, I'm guessing.
Well, this is the type of
case.
story you're not going to see on 60 Minutes. Is
of
the
course.
reason I'm mentioning this. Although I'm happy to report, for 2 nights I watched the new CBS Evening News, which still has John Dickerson and the New Orleans black dude. I forget his name. They still have the double anchor thing going on, but both of them are exiting, so they haven't exited yet. But I got to tell you, the tone is different at that news station. The tone is definitely different.
Oh yeah, Barry Weiss is definitely making moves in there.
Right, that's why I TiVo it now to see. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I watched it the past 2 nights, and it was almost normal. Dickerson looks like he's seething every minute of the news show, by the way, and the black guy looks like he just wants to get along. But Dickerson's out, and I think the black guy's out too.
Well, while we're talking about CBS News, there are 2 potential candidates that Barry Weiss has her eyes on. One of them is Brett Baer, but the other one is the illustrious Scott Jennings, who apparently there are some people very upset with Scott Jennings right now. You got 2 Hollywood.
This is a good one, Eric. Yeah.
Yeah. Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, the heightened political intellectuals that they are very upset with Scott Jennings for humiliating their son, who has, I guess for whatever reason, he has a political program on what satellite radio, whatever you want to call it. Sirius, yeah. Which is probably not really serious. Anyway, Scott Jennings did interview since then, and apparently
he was trying to apologize to them or something.
Well, no, here's his clip on that.
Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas, you were on Abby Phillips' show having a normal debate, which is your job, and you schooled this Nepo baby. I say this as the queen of Nepo babies, who really, I think, should not have necessarily been booked on the show with you, because it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight, quite frankly.
Who was casting the votes? Scott, who was wanting to cut SNAP benefits?
Nobody.
And who was playing up SNAP benefits after 2 courts ruled that it was unallowed?
Republicans voted to fund SNAP 15 times. Democrats voted to defund it 15 times. And now it took, and we had to get 8 to join us.
You talk about the Affordable Health Care Act, okay?
It's terrible.
Landmark legislation is not perfect.
So I watched this, Scott, with my husband this morning, and I was like, this makes me so uncomfortable. Like, I have been put on TV way too early as a Nepo baby. People like putting famous kids on TV. And of all people, Paul Begala actually schooled the living shit out of me on the one and only time I went on Bill Maher. I have been Dylan Douglas. But what didn't happen is my parents didn't have a meltdown. My dad was like, buck up and move on. But there are reports all over many different kind of gossip blogs, including the Daily Mail, that Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones are furious at you and CNN, and they want to blacklist CNN. What do you make of all this?
Well, I was surprised. I'm more than willing to apologize personally to Catherine Zeta-Jones over a nice seafood dinner. She wants to do it.
Morticia Adams, I don't blame you. Hello.
Honestly, first of all, I actually have to say Dylan was actually really nice off the air. He was very nice. I think he was honored to be there. We had what is relatively a normal kind of exchange. He made his Democratic talking points. I dismantled them. This is not an uncommon thing that happens on CNN. I was as surprised as you are to see that his parents were upset about it. But, I think what happens generally with some of these folks is they exist in a very tight little bubble. They never really talk to Republicans or conservatives. They don't really get outside of their, bubble where everyone's telling them how smart and good looking they are. And then they wind up on television with someone of a different persuasion. And it is surprising to them. And so I hope Dylan comes back. I'm sure he'll get better at it.
Well, it's funny because the mother said she went so far as to smash the dishes in her kitchen, according to my sources, and kept yelling, "Nobody's ever spoken to my son like that in his life. How dare you?" He's 25 years old, and others at CNN, not supporting of Scott, were just simply saying, he got what he deserved.
Okay, and you watched the exchange. I did too. Scott Jennings was actually very nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's just kind of like, okay, no, sorry, no. He wasn't rude. He didn't attack him.
He wasn't.
He didn't humiliate him. The kid humiliated himself. He wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready for prime time. But the question is, who is he and why is he on there? My mother is Catherine Zeta-Jones. My father's Michael Douglas. So I get to go on and debate Scott Erickson. Is that his name? Scott Erickson?
Jennings.
Scott Jennings. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's like, and Scott, part of the reason I think he's so deadly effective on CNN, and he is the one guy that everybody's watching on CNN, is he's kind of a happy warrior.
Yeah.
He never trashes people. He's always kind of laughing with them and whatever. Like even then, he was smiling at him. He's like, no, whatever. You're struggling. So I don't know. I'm not sure if he'd be a great anchor. That's probably almost a waste. Yeah, it might be a waste of his talent because he's so nimble in debating and talking and having good ideas.
I'd have him at the end doing an editorial like they used to do. Remember at the end? You ever wonder how the country became this way?
Scott Rooney.
You have the end editorial every night for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, Andy Rooney.
You ever wonder how the Democrats got this crazy?
Actually, he had the best gig of all.
I would have looked for that gig. Are you kidding?
Oh God, it is insane.
Andy Rooney.
All right, I found this story, and I want to check with the audience, with all of you watching, and see if you are doing the same thing. Because when I saw it, it's like, that's what I'm doing. We just had Black Friday last week, and Black Friday now it goes all the way through Cyber Monday. We don't even know when it ends or whatever.
Cyber Tuesday or something?
Oh yeah, so there's some things extended, some aren't. Whatever it is, but what they're finding is that they're not moving televisions, they're not moving computers. What's happening, and I do it too, is like I'm buying 6 tubes of toothpaste to cover me for 6 months or 8 months because it's half price. So I'm buying stuff that I normally buy, that is expensive or whatever, like vitamins can be expensive. So instead of paying $16, I'm paying $8 or whatever it is.
Right on.
And that's what Black Friday has become for me, is not like I'm going to go buy this new great equipment or whatever it is. I'm buying stuff that I'm normally going to buy and save it. So twice a year, it's like Prime Days in the summer, Black Friday in the fall.
So you're saying it hurts them on the rest of the year.
Well, it kind of does, but I'm also saying that it's a bad sign because I'm not the only one doing it. So it's like people aren't actually buying the product, so they're not getting the real money in that they're hoping to get on the sales, because it's stuff we're going to buy anyway. And if they didn't put the stuff on sale, well, then I would just have to spread out my purchases over the year and there would be no real benefits.
What do you think they should do? Is do away with Black Friday? Or
I don't know what they should do. I think it's just kind of a bad sign in the economy. They could choose not to put everything on sale. They could just say, we're going to put desirable items on sale, or cool things like that,
or multiple purchase items, maybe like 10 bottles of mouthwash. Maybe it's only one.
No, whatever. I mean, if I want to hoard my toothpaste, I'm going to hoard my toothpaste.
Okay. Well, they may. Sometimes they say limited. So many times I run into these limited to 2 only things now. 2 cases of water. I don't understand. This is a new thing out here. 2 cases of water. Okay, so you limited 2 cases of water. What's going on here?
Well, they have problems with some stuff. Like even at BJ's, sometimes they'll say you can only get 2 packages of the chicken thighs or something, because that people come in like a restaurant and buy the whole thing out, and they do want customers to have it. But a good example is every year I have an electric razor, and the heads are very expensive.
Right.
I buy it on Black Friday, and then every year.
What, do you get new heads or something?
Well, for the razor, because the head, wears
they
out.
Only last 1 year.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't like cutting my face up. I'm a delicate flower.
Okay.
So,
anyway. This week on Beauty Tips with Eric Hunley, we learn even more.
There you
Now,
go.
what is going on? Well, this is a fascinating story, but what is going on with Kash Patel with these leaks coming out that he's done?
I don't know. I don't know.
Are they real? Are they phony? They had no sources. The New York Times had 8 of them. They would no names. I mean, what's going on?
Kash is such a mixed bag because he's hated by the left, but he's also hated by I don't know, whatever you would call him, the Tucker right.
Yeah.
And there's people on the right who also hate him because he hasn't done enough on Epstein for them or what have you. No, I'm just saying. So I don't really know. I just think he's an unpopular guy right now, and he doesn't have a lot of friends. So there's a lot of people who are probably sabotaging him. And
why do they hate Bongino? He's hated also by these people?
Well, they're seen as a pair.
Okay, but he really gets targeted for
partly because of the hypocrisy angle. I think that people feel like before he went in, and as a good example, there is a good case to be made about like Thomas Crooks. Before Bongino went in, he was very critical about the investigation and what was going on with Thomas Crooks and what blah, 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 blah. Ever since he's gone in, it's kind of been like nothing to see here on that exact case. So I think people do have a right to be a little bit angry about that, saying, wait a minute, you are this firebrand guy. We expected you to go in there, knock some heads around and get us answers. And you're kind of giving us the same line as everybody else. So that is probably why he's hated.
You think he's worth tens of millions of dollars?
Define worth it. I mean, I don't know. He got a lot of views on Rumble. He invested in it early. And one thing about Rumble I will tell you is that everyone who profits on Rumble very well tends to have a contract with Rumble or a partial ownership of Rumble. So
I see what you're saying.
I don't know what to say on that, but yeah, I mean, he invested well. He had a very popular show and he made a lot of money.
Okay.
I mean,
well, it's gone now, but
is it? I don't know.
No, I mean, he's gone from the show. I mean, as a
host. Sure. But I mean, I think he had plenty of money. He did have a health scare too. So I'll never begrudge it. God only knows. He could have had a lot of money disappear in medical bills. I mean, poor Nate, I don't even know what Nate's bills are going to be.
Now, someone's got a new documentary coming out. I don't know if you heard about this, about the origins of the United States and how it was created. It's a guy named Ken Burns. Who? What was your take on it?
Okay, well, I've watched one episode.
Tell us so we know.
There's some sneaky woke angles in there.
Whoa.
Victor Davis Hanson's taken him to task, and Matt Walsh took him to task on it. The big premise that he's kind of peddling right now is we became a democracy because we were influenced by the Cherokee. I think it was a Cherokee Confederacy. Iroquois Confederacy. Okay, I didn't remember which one.
Yeah, upstate New York. Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of leaning on one letter by Ben Franklin, where Ben Franklin was sort of saying, you know what, if even these guys can figure it out, we can do it too.
Yeah.
And Ken Burns has sort of packaged it in that that is why that we everything we became everything in America is because the women decided they weren't going to buy products, and the Indians taught us how to
vote,
how to become a Confederate,
a democracy. Well, yeah, Hanson. I watched Hanson's show on it. He explained what was going on. He said 99% of the founding fathers' references were all to multi-historical things like Rome and Greece and everything else, and Aristotle and democracy, how it was created. But there's a tiny 1% thing that Ben Franklin, basically as a throwaway line, once said, like, and I'm paraphrasing, if these Indians can do it, we can do it. Meaning that the Iroquois, the 5 nation or 6 nations of Iroquois nation, upstate New York, went all the way up the northeastern seaboard into Canada, would get together every once in a while and vote on things. And they are trying to wokeify this into they created voting, and hence the founding fathers not only stole this idea from the Iroquois, later destroyed them. It's a reach beyond reach beyond reach. And Hansen is correct to call out Ken Burns, who he knows very well. He's kind of seemingly shocked by this.
Well, because I don't know if you've ever seen the Civil War. The Civil War, and Hansen said it too. Civil War is brilliant.
Yeah,
and
but it doesn't mean everything's brilliant.
Well, no. It's almost like because Ken Burns was young and careful, and maybe had hardened in his position.
Deep state money.
He went
deep state corporate money.
There's that too. Anyway, he went completely overboard, or not overboard, but with Civil War is very fair. I think that the Ken Burns made the case that it wasn't just slavery, that there was more involved, and that was a Ken Burns, a leftist.
Right, he had Shelby Foote on there, if I recall.
Yes, he did.
And he also had a fair show on baseball. That was really well done, and the jazz series was very well done. But lately, he's gone off the rails, so to speak, with woke
Vietnam too.
Yeah, because that's where the money. He's got to raise money from the left, Eric. It's not like, he's getting money from Trump people. Speaking of which, did you see the money that Dell put up? The Jewish American Dell.
$6 billion to Trump.
Yeah, that's what Jews do, people. I know that he should go back to Israel, but he's an American Jew. $6 billion for these young youth bank accounts, whatever they're calling it. So kids will have a bank account, $1,000. I think this is part. Are you aware of the program, or?
I only just heard about it.
Yeah,
that he was putting out $6 billion for or whatever. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, that's.
I'm surprised his name was Dell, which is kind of interesting. It sounds like maybe it was Delowitz and he shortened it to Dell.
Well, maybe his brother's Jewish and his dad wasn't. I don't know.
No, he is, but I'm saying it's just Dell is the actual name. It's like the guy who founded Apple was named Mike Apple. I would think there is a Mike Apple, which is a guy who ripped me off for a movie one time, a separate guy named Apple. But if Apple was named Apple after a guy, I would think that was funny too.
Well, Dell was, Michael Dell is an interesting case because he started out in his dorm room putting together. Garages are popular too,
that's what I meant. Garages, dorm rooms.
Anyway, but yeah, he was putting computers together in the dorm room and doing mail order and ran. I used to work for Gateway. I don't know if you remember Gateway 2000. Then it had to be changed to Gateway because year 2000 came along, and then they just went away. But Dell was like our mortal enemy because Gateway and Dell were the top two computer companies at the time for mail order and what have you. But it's an interesting case. So Gateway was on a farm in the Dakotas, and Michael Dell was in the dorm room. But those are fun.
And what's his name? Was in a garage in
Steve Jobs' garage in Palo Alto.
In Palo Alto. You have to have a space, I think, to work on these things.
Yeah, well, who's ironically, I believe it was Wojcinski's garage.
Yeah. That's
the CEO of YouTube later or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just or that might have been Google. Anyway, I get confused. A lot of garages, absolutely.
A lot of garage. Now, what's going on down in Tennessee, Eric? You're on the East Coast. You maybe have some news breaking out of the East Coast for the election in Tennessee. Moments. I think the polls might be closing or already closed there. This is a special election. Most of the nation is covering it versus Van Epps versus the crazy blonde lady, Afghan Ben, one of the craziest names I've ever heard. Any reports of
nope. I haven't been covering it all. You'll have to tell me.
Okay, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm sick as a dog, man. Okay, so this chick, Afghan Ben, who apparently hates Nashville, hates Tennessee, hates Southern culture, decided to run for Congress in this special seat down there against a candidate.
Actually, I'll be right back. You keep
okay?
Going.
Thanks. I'm going to try. I can't even breathe, but he'll be right back. Anyway, for people who follow the news, all right, Hunley's gone. Can we talk about him now? What is going on with this guy? I love him, but holy crap, he's off the rails. I'm so sick right now. As soon as I'm done, I'm going back to bed. I'm not coming out for another week. When I got back from Dallas, got something on the plane. I was coughing so bad, I thought my chest was going to explode and creatures from another galaxy were going to come out. Now it's just cough and sore throat and stuff like that. But holy crap, I was in bed for 2 days hallucinating. Anyway, so there's this guy, Matt Van Epps, who was the Republican versus this Afghan Ben who hates the South, running for this congressional seat, a special election down there. And it's going to happen today, whether Hunley covers it or not. And I think at the end of the day, here's a story that Epps is going to pull it out, Van Epps. However, this is a state that Trump won by, or a district that Trump carried by 10 million points. The fact that it's even in play, is the point of my bringing this up, is terrifying to the American people who follow Trump. Because this should have been a landslide victory by Van Epps, who is a very strong candidate, I think, with a fairly heroic military background versus a screaming Democratic Karen psychopath. And if they could bring that kind of baggage into a race and make it that close, we might be in more trouble for the midterms than I have previously led us to believe. So I don't know what's going on. It's about 3:45 here on the West Coast. So it must be 6:45 on the East Coast, and maybe the polls are still open. But speaking about polling, oh, he's back. Okay. Nothing. I just took care of that story while you were gone.
Oh, good. So I still don't know it.
No, it doesn't matter. Right. Yeah, you don't have to know anything. But there was another story you may not know about, where 98 Democrats did not vote to condemn socialism. And a lot of Democrats voted along with Republicans in a landslide proposition to condemn socialism, a long condemnation. And almost 100 Democrats said, not for me, I'm not going to go that far. But a lot of them did cross over and vote with this resolution, which I found to be uplifting a little bit. Yeah. And the fact that 98 didn't is not, I thought there'd be like 200 that didn't.
Yeah, I would too.
So that's encouraging.
Too. Yeah, no, definitely. We have never gotten a chance to talk about Comey and Tish James. I guess there's not much to go.
Well, they're going to refile it. So, I mean, I don't know what else you want to talk about. I have something to say about it. If you come into a courtroom, and this is a general statement, and you've got heavyweight sluggers as your defense team, and I mean heavyweight sluggers, the judge knows that. The judge respects that. The judge is intimidated by that. And on the other side of the aisle, you've got a former Miss North Dakota beauty queen that has no gravitas. I know Trump likes to appoint these people to be in these positions. However, in the theater of the courtroom, it has a deleterious effect on the people who are on that side. If you come in with F. Lee fucking Bailey and the dream team, and on the other side is some knockout blonde who's not even been appointed or confirmed yet, it influences the judge. I don't have to be a lawyer to tell you that, Eric. I mean, and they keep insisting on bringing in, what's her name's been eliminated now in New Jersey yesterday. The woman up there who was acting prosecutor, she's been removed. Alinda or Binda, whatever her name was up there. But give me some big burly guy who looks like something out of Central Casting as a lawyer or a prosecutor. It has an effect, and we're seeing the effect of this. Having
Lena Hopper,
she's been knocked out too. This is crazy, Eric. What is the upside for you? You're going to get the blonde female vote?
I don't know. He does it all the time.
Well, this is the effect of it being done all the time.
I agree.
Yeah.
One of them's name's Pam Bondi.
Is it exactly the same? Is it fair? Of course not. Is it reality? Of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah. You come in with F. Lee Bailey and Jerry Spence. Well, I'm making this up, and who have that gravitas. The judge is not going to fuck them. They're too big. They're too big to be fucked by the judge. That's the part of having a veteran defense attorney with a name, coming in there. And to throw some blonde up there who gets into a fight and doesn't even print out the proper thing, the judges lose their minds.
Yeah, and I mean, in fairness, there are some out there, like Ashley Merchant, obviously could hold her own and turn Bonnie Willis upside down and all that. So there are some attractive females who are talented, but you got to go to some who have a bit of legacy and gravitas and whatever else. I agree. He's hiring them too, like the one who brought up the Comey charges and whatnot.
Yeah.
She has no experience.
Nothing.
It's not even her field of law. So
Nope.
That's the problem.
What is the deal with this? Is this just an FU to the court, or is he trying to accomplish something by doing this?
I don't know if he puts that much thought into it sometimes.
Well, it's not him physically doing it. It's obviously Bondi and people at the DOJ who are dealing with these people on a day-to-day basis.
There has to be somebody with gravitas, though, that
I know
going to do what they want. I mean,
I know
it just doesn't make any sense that.
Well, to be fair, the scorched earth policy against Trump lawyers by the left has had an effect.
Sure.
Jailing them, suing them, disbarring them. That had that intent. They're not stupid, Eric. I mean, everything they do has a reason.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point. And I guess that's where the states can come into effect. We keep, hoping for more Paxtons and whatnot to go after people on the state level.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one. But speaking of lightweights or oddballs, we discussed Schlossberg, who is running for Congress. And apparently he's come out and he's saying that his trolling has a purpose.
Oh.
And
what's the purpose?
I'm still trying to figure this out.
Oh.
But he claims there's a reason behind his let me see. I think some people might be confused by some of the posts, but they have to understand that there's a reason behind all of them, he said in an interview. I think people called me crazy when I shaved my head, but now they know I was in solidarity with my sister who's sick.
Oh, I
he
see.
said in reference to that.
Right.
So I think people are actually a lot smarter than they give them credit for. And I think these videos are actually a huge reason that people believe in me and that I'm someone who put it all on the line when it matters most. Claim that voters have a lot of respect for him for taking shots at figures aligned with President Trump and boasted he's taken upon himself to take risks and move the ball forward on behalf of the party when no one asked me to, and I wasn't a candidate.
Well, speaking of pinup boys, let's talk about the Mangione trial. He's in court again today. I don't know if you've been following this. They're trying to get the evidence thrown out. He has some of the most high-powered attorneys in the city of New York with a lot of gravitas. He's raised, not him, the GoFundMe has raised millions of dollars for him, separate from the deep pockets of his own family. It's not like this guy needed a defense funds, but in the courtroom are the people who love him and worship him. And I was watching CBS News last night. They were covering the trial live. At least they had a correspondent there talking about the protest outside supporting him. She said they were 1/3 political, 1/3 groupies, and 1/3 were people who hated healthcare officials. However, they're trying to get the gun thrown out of evidence and also his notebook thrown out of evidence. And the notebook is important because in his own writing, he says, and I'm paraphrasing here, I forget the exact words, I need to execute I need to kill a health insurance official, which is not good if you're on trial for killing a health insurance official.
Kind of bad, yeah.
And it's in your own writing. And also the gun, that's not good also. So today's the second day of the evidentiary hearing, as they call it, downtown New York. The trial date has not been set because they're still doing this dance. But this is what happens when you have a super powerful defense team behind you, Eric.
Yeah, I did see something on it too. Apparently that he was chatting it up with Garden, guard at the prison, talking all about healthcare policy and press coverage and whatever else. This guy, Thomas Rivers, said he was sitting 2 feet away from him, and they were just chatting it up.
Yeah, he is allowed to wear civilian clothing if you go up to the top, but they have insisted on having the next thing. I think you'll see a little bit of what I'm talking about. Oh no, is there another one? I thought
him?
No, not him. No, go to the top. You went to the very top. There was a picture. Maybe not. Okay, there's a picture of him with the guards hovering over him. He's allowed to wear his civilian clothes without being manacled, is the point I'm raising, as Eric is showing manacled people in the other photos. So they battled over that, how close they could stand. And, people have rushed the judge, and we've seen many of these things. And he's obviously, someone who might do something like that or might not. We don't know. But
that's pretty common, though. Like Kohberger was able to wear civilian clothes, a lot of times, because when they're in the orange jumpsuit, it does give.
No, I understand that. It's a question of manacles and stuff of that type. Also, is to what I'm trying to say is each of these things is battled to the death. By this defense team, including having these 3 guards hovering over him. So the minutia of these things, when you have that level of defense, each thing is fought to the death, and that's why these things take months and months and months to finally go to trial.
True. And I don't know if they can do it, but I think sometimes they can, do the manacles under the table, like it would just be on his feet or something, so you can't, people won't actually see it. But it is, it's a good idea.
Well, I don't know how he's going to get off, but there's also the federal charges afterwards if he does somehow escape. The federal charges are different, even though they threw out the terrorism charges. There's still other charges that the Fed can bring.
Well, I hope so, because the state charges seem to be lacking, from what I understand. So, see, I saw this story. I don't know if you had seen it, about Campbell's soup.
Certainly seen enough of that this week.
The soup. Okay, well, bad news. Apparently, Campbell's soup, when it's making its soup for you, it is also dumping wastewater more than 5,400 times into the rivers in Ohio.
So the rivers are filled with chicken soup?
Well, runoff of whatever.
The runoff of chicken soup. There's the thing. It's like running off. It's tomato soup in this case.
Yeah, exactly. But, and then in a separate controversy, a former employee claimed that they were looking at bioengineered meat for their soup as well.
Ooh, that's not good.
So they fired him
for
leaking that audio. So I hope you're feeling better. Enjoy.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm going to go back to bed once this thing is over.
All right. Well, let's go through some super chats, because I know they're actually giving us some love here.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Anthony from Australia reminding us once again, it's Trump's fault. That's it, as he does every time. Dick Dickerson gifted 20 Americans Untold Story memberships. Thank you, Dick. We always appreciate it very, very much. And Sean Lucan, not letting Dick stand out there by himself, gifted 10 himself. So thank you.
It's I meant to tell you this thing about the FCC that FDR did back in the old days when he was consolidating power, Eric. One of the things he did was everyone had a license. There was no TV, there was radio, but every radio had an FCC license similar to the TV networks today, NBC, CBS. They didn't have an ABC back then. But what he did was, and this is why these guys were so smart, the licenses were 3 years. And what FDR did was he reduced them to 6 months. And every 6 months, they were up for renewal. And that's the difference between the right and the left in terms of dealing with stuff politically hardball. I just wanted to tell you that. I read about it this past weekend.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're good at that.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
Of course, Johnson was his almost protege, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. I have 8 picks. I don't know how to say that. How much do y'all get paid from gifted memberships? Whatever the cost of the memberships are that are gifted, we'll get, whatever that amount is minus the 30% or what overhead YouTube takes. So it does help. And then if people actually renew the membership on their own, that helps us out too. Fred C7V1Y. I don't know why the names are showing up weird. I think StreamYard has got a little bit of an issue because I'm seeing the names that I normally see, but it's like the full username versus what it is represented on the channel. So it's kind of odd looking. I wonder if the alleged John Podesta plan of a military coup in America is real. Do you know what he's talking about?
No idea.
Okay, I've not heard of that. John McGill. Danny Jones had Charlie Duke, Apollo astronaut, and some nutty conspiracy theorist on to debate the moon landing. Nutso based half his argument on U.S. government corruption analogous to the JFK case. Analogous. Thank you.
Analogous.
Thank you. To the JFK case. Any thoughts?
No thoughts at all.
I don't even know.
No, nothing to say. Yeah, sorry, John.
Yeah. And then Diffuse 56 gifted 10.
Hey, this is a good guy. I like this guy.
Tractor Guy, absolutely.
He's an old friend of Bill.
That's right. Tractor Guy with the memberships. Thank you. Patricia Luna.
That's her name? Is this Congressman Luna?
No, that's Anna Paulina.
Oh.
Luna.
Maybe this is her mother.
Whatever happened to that guy, Maxwell Yerrick, who is supposedly a co-conspirator with Matthew Crooks?
And I don't know.
Thomas Crooks?
Thomas Matthew Crooks. Some people say Matthew Crooks. Thomas Matthew.
Okay. I'm not familiar with Maxwell Yerrick. Are you?
I vaguely remember the name.
I guess he's off the hook, or wasn't considered a conspirator, because I've not heard that. Or it's been so long I don't remember. Dick Dickerson. I have been to over 50 countries between work and the military. Keep the third world in the third world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, people like cheap labor. I mean, so there's that. That's kind of the problem, but just, I think it was Victor Davis Hanson who pointed out that he tried to find out what war or what country killed the most Americans since 1990. And it was, well, I'll ask you people. I mean, the people, what war or country or has killed the most Americans since 1990? And it turns out to be 600,000 more than the Civil War since 1990. And it was the Mexican drug cartels who have killed 600,000 Americans through drug overdoses.
Yeah. Pamela, happy Tuesday. Thank you, Pamela. Always super supportive. Let's see. Susan Awesomeness. Happy holidays. Well, happy holidays to you, Susan. Thank you.
By the way, the thing that Trump is alleviating with the Somalis is the temporary protective status, I believe, that they had since Obama.
Long temporary protection here.
Temporary is it's a subjective word, obviously, but that's a thing he can do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a judge tomorrow will say he can't, but that's what he is doing.
And it'll run up through the courts like all the other cases.
But that's intentional. I mean, they got in through the Republicans, 250, as Chuck Schumer said, extremely progressive judges to prevent Trump right before he came into power. They did this with the help of Republican senators.
Like McConnell.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. And it's very, very, very frustrating. Bill Sweatman, 9874. Great show. Love you guys. Get better. Looking forward to the JFK banquet video.
Oh, can you see that now?
The Lancer, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I just got the footage.
Oh, I see what
together,
you're saying.
and
I got you.
I've
Yeah.
got to, edit it out. Diffuse 56. Have a good 24, Mark, and thanks for the great show.
Thanks, Diffuse. Thank you.
Thank you. And as you probably can hear, Mark is suffering at the moment.
No, what could possibly be wrong?
So we
Good
are
way to
going,
lose weight, by the way. If you get into this this tea and toast diet of 6 days, you will drop weight.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. But all right, well, folks, remember, if you want to join Locals, it does help a lot. We really do appreciate it. There's a brand new LBJ audio drama there. There's a 5-part Lee Harvey Oswald audio drama there. There's your own chat there, which you can participate in. If you're not a paying supporter, you can read it. You can't actually participate with anybody. So it does make things more fun. You can comment on posts. You can post yourself and get involved in the community. There's a lot of benefits there, and we really do appreciate it. It's $50 at least through the show Friday, and I'll be cutting it off, at some point. So I do hope you consider actually joining, and once again, it helps us out a lot. And for those of you who already joined or are joining now, we're going to head over there. We're going to hang out for a little bit longer. So see you there.